Hi everyone, I am back with an Empties video. Finally, I have been meaning to do this for a long time. So I've accumulated quite a few empties, and this is not even all of them. I have just tossed a whole bunch of stuff along the way. I've also been slowly decluttering stuff and decluttering as I go and just tossing things. For a while I was keeping stuff, and there might be one or two things that I'm considering to be a declutter and not something that I've finished, which I just thought that I would include in this mess of various empties. I tried to keep it mostly makeup, a little bit of skincare stuff, and then there's a handful of, we'll call miscellaneous. Just there's a wide variety because I did ask before what people would be interested in, and the majority of people did say they wanted to see the makeup empties, of course, but there were other people who wanted to see some of the other stuff as well. So this is a sampling of the miscellaneous empties, and the majority is makeup. Okay, I think that kind of explains it. I wanted to do this at the end of August because my very first YouTube video ever was in August, and it was an empties video, and it's still up on my channel, and it's hilarious. It looks like it was filmed with a potato, but it was just my really, really old laptop webcam back when I first thought I would try to do this. And it's funny how things have changed. But anyway, I'm gonna go through this fairly quickly because there are so many, and I don't want this to be like a 50-minute video. So I do have everything that I've been saving here. So much stuff. I'm not even gonna try and sort it because it's gonna be a mess, and then I'm gonna recycle and garbage all the stuff as need be. So I'm just gonna randomly pick some stuff, roulette style, and here we go. So first thing I have here is a dry shampoo, and this has been my current go-to and something that I have repurchased. This is from Batiste. This is the Dry Shampoo Plus. It is the XXL volume. Big and bouncy. I like this because it does seem to give my hair a little bit of extra volume, and it feels a little bit fuller, but it still feels clean and not as greasy, which is why I like using dry shampoo. And I have been somebody who puts dry shampoo in my hair before I go to bed, and then I sleep on it and then brush it out in the morning, and it seems to work really well for me. There's occasionally some dry shampoos that it doesn't really work well, and I still find that my roots are very greasy and oily, but this has been my go-to right now, and it's very affordable, which is what I like. Because there's another one that I have here. This is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Dry Shampoo, which I've talked about before. This is something that I did have in the full size, and I have bought travel sizes before, and I like this, but it's super expensive, and I'd much rather have the larger size. This is 200 milliliters, and it costs about $10 Canadian, and this is 92 milliliters, and I believe this size is something like $20, $25 Canadian. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around that range. It's fairly pricey, and so this just makes much more sense. And unless I'm traveling, and even if I'm traveling, from just my previous experience with traveling, I just found that because I was doing so many activities, I just showered every day anyway instead of bothering to put dry shampoo in my hair. So I'd rather, instead of putting dry shampoo in my hair, so I'd rather have a good shampoo conditioner, maybe like a hair oil or something, because my hair has problems. But that's my adventures in dry shampoo. I really haven't strayed much beyond these two, and certainly not this one since I tried it, because I was drawn to the volume because my hair is normally pretty flat. So a definite win, something I've already repurchased, and something that I feel like I will repurchase again once the other can is done. This is something that I'm considering to be a declutter, and not something that I've finished because there's still about this much product left in here. This is one of those gradual self-tanning lotions. I've had this for a little while, and it's just time to go. This is from Belia, and it's sunless tan body lotion in light to medium. So I had been self-tanning this summer, and I really did like it, but I was using different self-tanners, and I might explore it a little bit more next summer. We're pretty much already into fall here where I am on the east coast of Canada, so it feels a little weird to be very tan when the temperature is very, very autumnal. I just kind of want to embrace that again, and I did like being slightly tanner anyway, but this particular product was okay, but obviously I didn't like it that much because I didn't finish it. and I did have issues with the streakiness, even with these like gradual self-tanning lotions, but I did get the tanning mitt, which helped a lot. I still was dealing with streaks because total tanning noob. Probably should have like maybe had some help with that or something. Maybe I considered doing the tanning salon, getting like an actual spray tan or something, but didn't commit to it that much. But hey, I still might. And I did have a lot of people say that I looked healthier when I was tanner, so I did appreciate that. That was a nice compliment. So let's see, a few more things. We're going all over the place. I have quite a few setting sprays. Fix Plus from MAC, continual repurchase. Already repurchased another full size of this. I do have a little travel size as well, but I'm planning on bringing that with me when I travel in a few weeks, so I didn't want to start panning that one, so I bought the full size because I know I'll use it. And the Urban Decay All Nighter in a travel size, I also purchased the full size of this, but I'm going to keep this so that I can put some of the full size product into this container when I do travel, because well, I might not need both, but I definitely will need Fix Plus. No, you know what? I'm traveling, I'll be walking around a little bit. I think I'll feel more confident with the setting spray on. I find that it does make a difference. I find that my makeup lasts longer and looks better. Like, I just noticed that on my day-to-day with work, that if I skip the setting spray, by the end of the day, even almost a little bit before the end of the day, when I check in on my makeup, I can see like stuff is a little patchy and has faded away in spots. But when I use the setting spray, I find that it just stays in place. I also finished the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. I did not like this one because it made my skin really sticky. And that's what I find with the hangover products in general from Too Faced, is that my skin feels really sticky. Like, that was the issue I had with the primer, and the issue with the setting spray is just that I could feel the tackiness. Like, it never really absorbed into my skin. And with the setting spray, I want it to mesh all the layers of my makeup together, and I want it to stick to my face, but I don't want it to like actually feel sticky. So the Fix Plus from MAC and the Urban Decay All Nighter seem to be the best combination for my skin still, and this has been something that I've stuck with for many, many years. I finished my favorite luminous face primer. This is from Becca. This is the First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. I always feel the need to say the full name because it's ridiculously long, but this is the purple one. They have the Backlight Primer as well, which I didn't like. I felt like that one really made my pores look huge, but this purple one, I find that it makes my skin look dewy and luminous and glowy and just so good. So good. I have a travel size of that one. See, it's all these travel sizes that I bought a couple months ago are serving me well now. So I am using the travel size of the Becca First Light Primer, and when I finish the travel size, I will be repurchasing the full size again. I have very few complexion products left. This has been a very beautiful side effect of my no-buy, but also it's a little challenging when I want to reach for something and I'm like, I have no luminous face primer now. What do I do? So I'm making do with what I have in the meantime. You know, I do have the travel size of this one, but when it comes to other things, like when I want variety, I don't really have it anymore, and it's a good and a bad thing, but at least I know what works for me and the things that I keep gravitating towards. And I have so many staple products now, and that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, is just having that small collection of things that I can rely on with a few things to try, because I still like to play around and try new things, and that's something that I've missed with the no-buy over the last year, because it's really coming up to a year. I can't believe it. I will be talking all about that. I'm very excited to talk about, you know, the things that I've learned so far. From Kiehl's, I have the Micro Blur. This is the Skin Perfector. This is my second one of these. I got this because I used a sample. This was one of my hashtag 365 days of sample victories. That was actually the First Light primer as well. I had a sample of that. This is a really great product that I felt minimized my pores. It didn't really work as a primer, but it was a really good skincare thing, and I liked using it on its own if I was really not putting a whole lot of makeup on my face. I don't know if I'll necessarily repurchase it, because I feel like my skincare makeup preferences have changed a little bit in terms of how I was using that, so I don't know if it's something that I would repurchase, but I did enjoy using it, and I did buy it after using the sample, liked it, and then repurchased it again. So it served me pretty well. This is a declutter. This is another primer. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte. I have too many matte primers, and also this one, it's like defective. The cap came off and I can't seem to fix it and I can't get any product out, and I tried everything to try and fix it, and then I was like, why am I even bothering? Why am I spending so much time trying to fix this primer that I have maybe a half of it left? But it's matte and my skin has been so dry that I just cannot do matte. I can't do matte foundation, I can't do matte primer. It's just too much. My skin just looks awful because it has been so dry. My skin has been like combination and then leaning more towards oily, but then just over the last few months it's just been super dry with maybe occasional oiliness in my T-zone, but like dry, super desert dry everywhere else. So a matte primer, matte foundation does not work for me. I have to mix it with other things. So I decided to just cut my losses on that one because I have so many other things anyway that it's not a huge deal. It feels kind of sad in that way, but I have so much stuff that I have to let it go because there's no way I'm going to finish stuff. And there's things I've been decluttering that have expired, and that's also sad, but it's also just, it's lessons. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying not to dwell on it because I'm like, oh, the mistakes that I made, the things, the choices, the wrong choices, but lessons learned. MAC Mineralized Moisture Foundation that I finished. I finished so many foundations. I have three foundations right now that I'm using. Unbelievable. I don't know how this happened. This is something I never thought I would be because I am obsessed with foundations and I'm definitely lacking. There are definite things that I'm going to reach for that I don't have, but my goal is to finish the Too Faced matte one that I'm mixing with oils and stuff, and then I'm going to repurchase a couple things that I like, and I think I'll probably end up having about 5 foundations in my rotation so that I have a little bit of everything that I need / want, and depending on seasons as well, because I know when it gets into the winter I'm going to want a full coverage foundation potentially. So I'm going to see. This is all new ground for me, and I'm really reevaluating the way I use makeup and my makeup preferences, and it's all very good. It's all very good, but this is something I will be repurchasing because I'm obsessed with this foundation. This is just the most hydrating, luminous foundation I've ever used. It makes my skin look beautiful. The combination of this foundation and the Becca primer is one of my absolute favorite things, and it was a go-to for so long. That's why I finished it, because I find that this foundation, it's very light coverage, which has just been what I've been looking for. Occasionally I will have some spots and stuff that I'll try and conceal, and I'm just trying to like let my skin show a little bit more. It's been something that I've been a little bit more comfortable with, but the way that this looks on my skin is just one of my absolute favorite things because it doesn't emphasize my pores, it doesn't emphasize texture, it doesn't emphasize dryness. So it's just one of my favorite things, and this is something I've repurchased a couple times already. So another staple thing that I've really discovered how much I love the more I use it. And I find that it really is telling when you finish something and you keep wanting to use it, and you're immediately like, I'm gonna buy this. There's no hesitation. It just feels weird when you don't have it. This is another foundation that I finished. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. This is also a beautiful foundation. This is more of a fuller coverage foundation. I say medium to full because you can really build it up if you want to, but you can sheer it out a little bit. This really did make my skin look flawless, like freakishly flawless. Every time I wore this foundation, people would comment on how good my skin looked. Even if inside I knew I hadn't slept at all and I was just miserable and everything was just going wrong, my skin looked good with this foundation. People would say, oh, it looks like, you know, you had a good night's sleep, or, you know, you look so happy and refreshed. And I'm just like, it's the makeup. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's amazing what you can do with makeup sometimes. You can really trick people. And this is one of those trick people foundations. And this is something I really like using on camera as well. It's a potential repurchase. I kind of want to explore some of the other things that are out there. And if I get back into filming more regularly, I will need to have some filming makeup as well. And this is definitely something that I would consider having to wear on some occasions in real life, but also for my filming life, because it does translate very well on camera, and that is important to me if I'm doing the filming thing on a more regular basis. My camera battery just died, so I'm not exactly sure where it cut off, but I was talking about filming makeup and how I do have to have some specific things that I use for filming, and even just for taking photographs of makeup for Instagram and stuff. There's definitely different products that get used for that than I would use for day-to-day makeup. So that is something that I do have to keep in mind for my personal makeup usage, and just also something I'd like to remind people who are watching, just to keep that in mind, that my experience with makeup is going to be different with yours, especially if you don't post makeup pictures on Instagram and you don't make YouTube videos, like your usage is going to be completely different and you have to evaluate it that way. So if I have more foundations because I use them for filming and you don't do that kind of stuff and you don't do more than everyday makeup, then just don't compare like what you have to what I have. And I feel like it's easy to do that when you're watching something like this, and it's easy to make those comparisons, and it's just, you really have to look at yourself individually. That's something that I've been doing a lot over the last year. I have a little mini of the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Didn't really like this. It was okay on its own, but I didn't feel like any kind of foundation sat well on top of it. Like it was just a very sticky primer, and the grip name I think it's very appropriate, but just foundation didn't feel good. I think occasionally, from what I remember, because I did finish that a little while ago, is that some foundations look good but never felt good. Also kind of similar thing with the Hangover products from Too Faced. Just that tackiness on my skin. I just don't like that. I have a little mini of the House of Lashes eyelash adhesive lash glue. This is the black one, which I love because I find that it just makes it look a little bit more natural, especially the way that I use makeup. Like natural, as I mean like you can't really see the lash glue. Like I used a white lash glue for these lashes, and I know I'm no expert at applying lashes. I just like the way that they look, and I like the black lash glue. I did repurchase this recently. Sephora got me with that 20% off. I purchased 4 things. I purchased brush cleaner, the House of Lashes lash glue, a pair of false lashes, and a blonde eyebrow pencil because I finished a brown eyebrow pencil. Look at that lovely piece of blonde hair. Actually, that is from a wig. That's happened a lot. I haven't been wearing wigs a lot for filming, but I've been using them for my Instagram photos, and it's so much fun. I love my wig life. This, God, I can't even remember the brand. This was, what is that? That Pop Beauty, I think that's the one it is. It's completely worn away off of here. This is one of those, it's got the spoolie on one side, and then it had the pencil on the other. It was fairly thick, and it found it really kind of difficult to use because it was so thick. The brow pencil I did purchase from Sephora was Brow Wave, so it's very tiny, but I needed something blonde because my hair is lighter, and I've been resorting to the brown brow products that I have, and it just makes my brows too heavy compared to my hair. And even like with a blonde pencil, it doesn't change my brows drastically, but it does lighten them enough that the combination of like a blonde brow pencil and the combination of a blonde brow pencil and a blonde brow gel really just make my eyebrows, keep interchanging words, make my brows look more natural, and it seems to suit my hair color more, so that's why I purchased that one. And not this one, too thick for me, but it did work, and it was something that had been sent to me as well, so something that I had in my collection, so it was easy to grab that and use it. Sorry, I find myself struggling to speak at the moment. I finished this little mini of the Briogeo Farewell Frizz Blow Dry Perfection and Heat Protectant Creme. So I never really blow dry my hair. Now, a lot of people always think that I do because my hair is very damaged, and it's just my hair. I have occasionally used a hairdryer to fix my bangs, which are just now like, I just brush my hair to the side. So I can't really say how well this worked because I didn't blow dry my hair enough to see any noticeable difference. I just try and avoid the heat as much as possible because my hair is already so damaged that I just don't need to add more damage to it. But I did like the way that it felt in my hair. I liked Briogeo products in general. That was from a 500-point perk, and I love when they have those 500-point perks at Sephora, especially for like hair care stuff, so I can play around. I finished the Pixi Vitamin C Juice Cleanser. So this is like a micellar water. Loved this stuff a lot. I'm a micellar water junkie, and I only have a little bit of Garnier left. I've been using a few cleansing cloths and just cleansing oil and just regular face cleansers. It's been a crazy world. I just haven't been applying makeup in the same way as I have been before. I found that cleansing waters were more important when I was filming more because I was a lot of heavier makeup, a lot of lash glue, a lot of glitter. So having the cleansing waters helped significantly in being able to take my makeup off somewhat effortlessly, and it wasn't so time consuming. Like a lot of straight up like creamy makeup removers and cleansers can be very time consuming. You're lathering your face and you're trying to make sure everything's clean, and it makes a mess, you know, like it's never like that beautiful splash in the commercials. So anyway, I would purchase this myself. This was sent to me, but I did enjoy it. I do generally enjoy Pixi products, and I have been sent quite a few, so just full disclosure there. More foundations. Tell ya, it's been a couple of months of crazy foundation finishes. The Elle Flawless Finish Foundation. So I didn't like this one that much. The smell drove me crazy because it really had that sort of plasticky smell. But this is the shade Porcelain, but it was my perfect shade when I had a little bit of a tan, because it's just slightly darker, or something that I couldn't really get away with that easily when I'm lighter, because you could really see sort of like the line. Even when I blended it down, you could really see, and I'm still like a little tan here, so there's like a little difference. But I also feel like my chest tan is more like reddish, and I don't really want that on my face. But this was great when I was tanned, and I loved using that for that. The smell did bother me a little bit. And then I finished the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and this is also a lighter shade, and I was mixing this, and I like this foundation. I did feel like it might be not so suitable for my skin right now where it's so dry. I felt like it was clinging to certain spots, which I didn't really like. I didn't feel like it looked the greatest, and it didn't wear the greatest because my skin was so dry. I would notice little patches, but I do think it's a beautiful foundation, and when my skin is more hydrated, it looked really good. So if something changes with my skin, I could see myself revisiting that. Let's see, a few more things in here. There's another brow pencil I finished. This is from Urban Decay. This is in neutral brown. It's the Microfine Brow Pencil and Brush. So this was a tiny one as well, like the Brow Wiz, and then the spoolie. And I finished this one, but it's too dark for my hair, and I wasn't super crazy about it. I found like it was a little dry and it kept snapping off. Now, it wasn't even that old either, so I can't really explain that. It might have just been the product. I don't think I'd repurchased that before, so it was a little bit of a struggle, and not really one of the better products I used. I have from Bumble and Bumble the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil spray. There's hair over all this stuff, I'm sorry. So this was a spray product, and I just liked the way that it felt in my hair. I like the Bumble and Bumble Invisible Oil products. I felt like it made my hair feel good, even if it didn't necessarily make it look, you know, super sleek and frizzless. At least it felt good. Okay, two more things. The Ordinary Caffeine Solution. So this is an under eye product. I did like this. This is one of those dropper products, and I would drip it on and then rub it in, and I felt like it felt good. If it did anything, I don't really know, but I did enjoy it. And I like eye creams. I've really been trying to hydrate my under eye area because I've noticed a little bit more fine lines under there, so I'm trying to keep that area as hydrated as possible, but I don't think I'll be repurchasing that. I'm exploring other eye creams. And this is another Briogeo one. This is Farewell Frizz. This is a leave-in conditioning spray, which I really enjoyed. I definitely love conditioning sprays, although I do find that they don't make the hugest difference in my hair because my hair is so challenged. So I wish it did. I wish I could find that thing that made my hair just look perfect, but I just don't have it in me. It's just not the way my hair is ever gonna look. I'm just trying to embrace that. I finished so many samples, so we'll end with some samples because I am planning on bringing hashtag 365 days of samples back. I am planning on doing that because I have explored the samples, and I thought that I would just mention these kind of quickly at the end, and then perhaps do hashtag 365 days of samples pretty soon. So I have some NARS foundations. These are the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I use this when I was self-tanning because these are darker shades. These are like the medium 1 shade. That was a great shade, and I really liked how my skin looked tan, and also made everything, like the whites of my eyes look super white, my teeth look super white, which you guys know is something that I struggle with. But I have been working on the whitening toothpaste and stuff to like kind of keep it up, but my teeth are never going to be like sparkling white. It's just not, it's not for me, no matter how much I try. Plus I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm fighting a losing battle. The Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Sleeping Mask. wonderful. Avocado is one of my weaknesses, especially in skincare products, and I felt like this really made my skin super moisturized, but I didn't even think about the full size because samples sometimes trick you that way. You use them twice and your skin looks amazing, and then you buy the full size and it just doesn't work long term. Like, I've had some good luck, don't get me wrong. I've had some really good luck with some of the samples I've tried and some of the things I just trusted my instinct on, but this one, it was a little questionable. I was like, maybe I just needed a change. Maybe I just needed something a little bit different because I've been using the same skincare products over and over. The Touch in Sol No Problem Primer, I really enjoyed this one. I felt like it really did smooth my pores, and foundation looked nice, and it wasn't super sticky, like tacky at all. So a thing that I would consider purchasing, because I definitely want to have one good pore smoothing primer in my arsenal, just because there's certain days when I notice like my pores look huge and I just want to cover it up. I use the YSL Touche Eclat Awakening Foundation, also beautiful. Hated the smell, too perfumey for me. I can't deal with really perfumey, fragrant foundations. Even if the smell goes away at some point, like, I find it lingers on the foundation brush or the beauty blender, and it's irritating applying it, and I just don't enjoy the experience. I definitely want my foundations to be scent free. Speaking of the Hangover Primer from Too Faced, use a sample of that. Again, sticky, not my jam. The Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Ultra Gentle Daily Peel. Really enjoy this. This is the exfoliating product, and I've used many of those, and I find that it makes a difference. I just don't use it often enough to see a huge improvement over time. That's my problem. And then the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which I loved. The vanilla shade when I had my tan, and I was using it with the medium. So I had the medium 1 foundation, and then I used the vanilla concealer under my eyes. It was the most perfect combination, most perfect. I want to get another sample of the NARS foundation and then see how it works with the concealer, if I can make that combination work, because I just felt like it looked so good on my skin. Like, anytime I can have that fresh, radiant looking face, I love it. And especially if the foundation doesn't emphasize my pores and makes everything look so smooth, and everybody, you know, wants to know your skincare routine because the foundation makes your skin look so good, and they don't think it's foundation, they think it's your skin. All good. So that's something that I'm considering exploring sometime in the near future, because I am going to need foundation and I am going to need concealer. Right now I'm using a little bit left of a YSL Touche Eclat pen and one of the Too Faced sculpting concealers. That's basically it for me for concealer right now, because I finished so many and I've tossed so many along the way, and things that just weren't working for me or things that expired, because that has been a challenge along this journey, is things that have expired and things that just aren't performing like they should. And I've been learning to let go of a lot of things, and that's been very good. So anyway, this is a very small selection of my empties from the last couple of months. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. If you want to know any more information about any of these products I talked about, please do let me know. If you have any thoughts, if you agree or disagree with my opinion on these products and how they work for me, please also leave that, because I find that's helpful. And if something I liked didn't work for you, just understand we have different skin types, and if something didn't work for me but worked for you, wonderful. Please share that as well, and kind of what your skin type is, and maybe even how you use the product, what your preferences are like, because that's always very helpful. And anyway, I love Empties videos. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.